Rajendra Prajapati is a potter. He and his family know little of the global fuel crisis. Here in Nepal, however, Rajendra's age-old skills are providing a major contribution towards solving the problems of his fuel-starved community. Using the rich clays from the Kathmandu Valley, Rajendra molds the chimney pipe for use with a wood-burning stove. In a land without chimneys, this is an innovation. Its use will help reduce some of the chronic respiratory diseases which plague the smoke-filled homes of Nepal. The production of goods for use in the households of his community is not new for Rajendra. But these days, in the words of international development agencies, what he makes is labeled appropriate technology. Two years ago, Rajendra and several other potters were approached by UNICEF to make these relatively smoke-free chulos, fired clay stoves which are made to tested specifications. When operational, these stoves ensure wood savings of up to 40% of the usual consumption. The design Rajendra follows requires few additional skills to those he has already perfected. Yet as you can see, these skills are beyond the capacity of the average homeowner. His hands deftly mold the interior part of the stove, intuitively forming the precise dimensions of holes and channels, keeping the fuel-saving design intact. Rather than embark on a do-it-yourself campaign to teach individual homeowners how to construct the stove, a strategy was adopted to commission the potters to mass produce. As often is the case, it is the entrepreneur within a community who takes the first advantage of innovative ideas. Tea shops on some of the main roads in Nepal have begun using the smokeless chulos. As an important meeting place for the rural population, the tea shops have played an important role in the dissemination of the idea of using fuel-saving stoves. Here, Ishwar Devkota explains the advantage he finds in his tea shop.
When the women work with it, they will not suffer from disease. I do not feel so hot when working with this chulo. If all the people start installing this chulo, it would be so good. The advantage is that the smoke goes up. 30% fuel is only consumed and we can save approximately 70%. There are so many advantages of having this chulo. It is really doing so good.
Where the forests have been cleared, the very existence of homes is threatened by landslide. Trees absorb the monsoon rain, securing the soil and preventing both erosion and flood. Yet the majority of people living in the hills have access to only one source of cooking fuel, firewood, and the burden of collecting it has increased sharply in recent years. Women and children can spend up to 5 hours a day collecting wood, which will be used to cook the family meal. The nutrition level of children is also linked to the availability of fuel wood, since the choice of foods prepared and the frequency of hot meals can be dramatically affected by fuel wood shortages. Putting efficient stoves into the homes of these hill people will help, but it is not all that can be done. Here in Dadikot, the reforestation program is progressing. Community woodlots have great potential, but a community's awareness and involvement in planting and caring for trees has become by far the most important dimension for ensuring success. The collapse of reforestation programs in several countries has been rooted in the failure to involve communities in decisions like the choice of land for woodlots or the choice of species for planting. At the third UNICEF meeting on appropriate technology, participants from 14 countries came to Kathmandu to discuss not only the fuel wood crisis and its relevance to mothers and children, but the broader implications of UNICEF's increasing use of appropriate technology in programming. During the paper presentations and discussions of the first 3 workshop days, several topics arose that were subsequently taken up for special study by the working groups. But the participants were not confined to the conference room. The Nepal experience helped to provide a context for their efforts. Here, Kamal Joshi explains his reforestation project and emphasizes how slow the expansion procedure needs to be.
What is the need that we are just calculating we have already shown that forest management legal document in that we have not yet worked out for that. Actually, we are helping these people to bring these nursery crops.
The increasing burden for rural women and the time they are required to take on simple household chores, such as the collection of animal fodder, fuel wood and water, and the profound effect this has on the future of their families, is a problem in Nepal which cannot be ignored, even amidst the most stimulating of debates.
So that that part which is unrecovered can sprout at some time. When we think we are just making the management plan.
In the village of Taklung, participants came to meet the group organizer of the Small Farmers Development Program. Small groups of farmers meet weekly with the group organizer, who is an employee of the Agricultural Development Bank. Together they discuss and draw up plans for income-generating activities, the adoption of appropriate technologies, and access to the services of government. Presently, there are 84 small farmer development sites, providing benefits for some 20,000 families in Nepal. Saligram Sharma, the group organizer, explains the lending scheme which 2 other commercial banks have followed in other parts of the country. He answers questions on repayment success.
When they benefit from that, do they have to give you back something, or the cost of this ed?
What they produce, they sell the market,
yes.
Then after the return of money.
How much, what amount of this benefit?
60%.
60%.
The smallest farmer, what he produce, then he use for his consumption. In these cases, we have some problems in dependence.
The schoolroom was seen by many participants as being the most hopeful focal point for change and improvement in future living standards. If only school curriculums contained appropriate technology lessons, if school gardens could be introduced more extensively, if children could be shown how to grow and care for trees, if children could be taught proper hygiene and sanitation, if only school could be more interesting.